This all started with just a single purpose of providing baseball at Seaside Park in Bridgeport for the youth ages 5 to 12 back in 2003, because shortly before that, my father had passed away, and my brother came up with the idea in his memory of starting this baseball league, because when we were kids, we used to play baseball over there at Seaside Park, and prior to 2003, there was no baseball for about 4 years. So we started this, and our first opening day season was in April of 2004. We had a couple of hundred youth from ages 5 to 12, and it really lit up a lot of attention amongst the parents, but also amongst the volunteers, that there was a real need. And today, after 9 years, we have grown that we are into a youth development organization, because we have now 3 platforms in which we operate, which is sports. Through we have offer baseball, girls softball, cheerleading, basketball, and a fall baseball and softball program. And then our second platform is education. And there we have an honor roll program. We have high school and college scholarships. We have a teen reading power program, and also some forums to educate our parents on resources and needs that they may have to better serve their child. And then our third platform, which is just as important, is our civic, or what we call community platform, in which we teach our kids that no matter how difficult they have it, there's others that have it even worse. And so we provide an annual food drive. We have a toy drive. We have a Helping Hands program where we have a bone marrow drive, a blood drive to support the community. And we participate in various civic activities throughout the city of Bridgeport.
Building today's youth, tomorrow's leaders. The website is bcyl.org. We're speaking with John Torres, president of Bridgeport Caribe Youth Leaders, and as he mentioned, education, sports, and community. And I don't think anybody could argue that the timing of how you're trying to expand, the timing could not be any more relevant. Unfortunately, we've seen and read about increased violence in the city of Bridgeport, and involving, John, now even younger individuals. How important is it for young folks to have a purpose, to have a community involvement, as you said, to have something other than just hanging out? I mean, summer could be a deadly time, or it could be the greatest time of a young person's life.
Absolutely. I agree with you, John. And, we really put a lot of emphasis around the importance of empowerment. But more important is just the partnership between parent, the youth, to make sure, and the organization, to ensure that we have a great environment for these kids to prosper, but more importantly, for them to feel empowered to the point that they know that they are achieving something even greater, such as I'll take, for example, the food drives that we have annually and the toy drives. Our kids go out to shelters and they fill up the food pantry. They give out toys to these other kids that are in need, and it's amazing just the reaction from these youth. And I'll give you a quick story. This past Christmas, we took a group of kids to a local shelter to bring toys with Santa. And one of our youngsters, JR, had a basketball, and he brought his basketball, because it was after a basketball game. He brought it with him, and, he was dribbling. There was a young boy about 4 years old that was looking at it. And as we leave the program and we're going back to the car, I said, "Hey, JR, you forgot your basketball." And he goes, "No, that other kid wanted it. He was interested in playing with it, and he wanted it more than I did, so I gave it to him." And that is, to me, it makes me feel good that these kids are getting that type of message, that they can make a difference no matter how little they think it is.
You create more JRs, and Bridgeport becomes a better city, and the surrounding communities become better for it.
Absolutely. You know, John, I will tell you, and I truly believe this, we have great young men and women and youth here in the city of Bridgeport. They're exposed to different, I guess, different environment, different circumstances that you know, help them and open up their eyes to different things. Therefore, because of this, I think they become more well-rounded. And our goal as an organization is to provide them not only the environment, but the resources and also the inspiration that they can achieve better things if they put their mind to it. I'll give you another example. Several years ago, about I think now 6 years, 6 years ago we had a honor roll program that we started, and basically it was, you know, any child that had A's and B's, we would reward them by taking them to Yankee Stadium, Met Shea Stadium back then.
Just looking at that on your website now.
Right. And, you know, last year, 25%, and when we started this, we had less than single digits of the student athletes achieving honors. And then this past fall, 25% of our student athletes achieved A's and B's. And to me, that was just huge. And all we did it was by reinforcing the message of education being important, and really we have a capture audience through our sports program, so we just harp on that every single time we get an opportunity, and it's really paying off because these kids have really risen to the challenge.
John, give us numbers. How many kids are we talking about? And ultimately, I mean, this is your brainchild, your families, your friends, your community. How many kids would you like this to eventually encompass? What are we talking about now, and what would you like it to be in 5 years?
You know, John, I have a vision of where we want to go. We just moved into a small office at 1067 Park Avenue. Ultimately, my vision is that we will have a facility where we can touch and reach out to maybe 4 times the number of individuals that we're doing today. So my goal is to really grow this from 500 to 2,000, and who knows, and maybe building another facility so that we can touch even more people and more kids. Because it's all about it's all with the youth, but also we do a lot around the parenting side as well.
I want to talk more about some of those community outreach efforts, but let's get down to brass tacks. As I think I've mentioned, I live just outside of Seaside Park, kind of on the University of Bridgeport campus. The wife and I walk down to Seaside. We see your banners up. Right. We see what you're doing, and when you watch it unfold, you realize this doesn't just happen. It takes volunteers and it takes money. Talk to us about how the community can help you help the community.
You know, and I'm glad you brought that up because we just lost a huge funder of ours, Casey Family Service, that is be shutting their doors here at the end of the year. And we are in need of funders. There's no doubt. In order for us to continue what we're doing, it does take money because many of our youth that we serve come from limited economic resources. So we want to make sure that we continue providing the top quality service. Therefore, you know, we're always seeking funders or sponsors, and they simply can visit our website at www.bcyl.org, or they can call 203-913-0073. That's our office number. Or they can call me direct at 203-751-5366. You know, every little bit helps, and it goes to these youth.
Hey, John, one last thing, and that is that ultimately how I came to know of you and this organization. You are doing some outreach to get young people involved in voting. Get young people involved in civic duty. And You know, Bridgeport is a place where sometimes this is a lesson that is not taught to enough people. You got to get involved on many different levels. Talk to us about your outreach to sign up new voters.
Yes. Well, we've recently held a voter registration drive, and one is to create the importance and the awareness of having their voices heard through their vote. Many of the people that we serve are not placing that value. So what we want to do is we want to start encouraging the kids, especially the ones that have graduated to our program, and we're really targeting the 18 through 25-year-old segment to really engage themselves in the process of voting. And we've held voter registration drives. We've sent out messages whenever there is a forum with candidates, really to get them to go out and learn and get involved in the process, because the only way we're going to make a difference is by going out there and voting and having our voices heard. And what's happening not today is that it seems like the same people are voting, and the small amount of people that are voting are making decisions for the majority. And if we want to make a change, we really got to stand up and really take action on that.
Well, I mean, listen, it's no secret in my district, which is the south end of Bridgeport, which is slowly growing and becoming a more diverse community down by Seaside Park and University of Bridgeport. Municipal elections, John, could be decided by 200 or 300 votes. That's inexcusable.
I agree. I agree, and you know, and I'll tell you, because we deal with the Latino community, but in our community, in the Latino community, we are not voting to the point that it's totally embarrassing. I mean, we're less than 25% of the registered Latino voters in Bridgeport are going out and voting. That's unexcusable, to your point, you know, because, you know, from our countries that our parents come from and whatnot, people lose their lives. They fight for that vote, and here we're taking it for granted. So we're trying to wake up our community and really encourage everyone. It doesn't matter if they're Latino, African American, or Caucasian. We need to step up and really have our voices heard.
www.bcyl.org, Building Today's Youth, Tomorrow's Leaders. John Torres, Bridgeport Caribe Youth Leaders. I'm pleased to know you, John.
Thank you, John. Likewise.
All the best.
Likewise. Thank you, John.